let's talk about this. This really bewilders me. This bewilders me. Okay,
come with it.
So the Rockies, they don't want to trade Troy Tulowitzki. They've told us that a number of times. Certainly the owner doesn't want to trade Troy Tulowitzki because he's a fan favorite and he's a good player when he's on the field. All right. The Nuggets seem to be reluctant to trade Kenneth Faried because he's a fan favorite, because sometimes he puts up good numbers, and the owners feel it would be a marketing mistake to trade a guy as popular as the Manimal. Do you agree with this thinking?
No, not at all. 1960, Easter Sunday. How's that? Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Indians traded their two best players. Al Kaline for Rocky Colavito. And people were stunned and amazed. But guess what? Each side got new fan favorites. Here's what I think. Yes, the fans have loved Tulo. He is still the most beloved player. Arenado's catching up to him. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Well, I mean, you're in the Denver Post. I mean, we're seeing debates about whether or not it's now Arenado's team versus Tulo's team.
I kept thinking, and I actually wrote it at some point, Todd Helton should have been traded so he could have gone to somebody where he could see. There's two things about guys like Tulo and Helton. Let's see what they can do in another atmosphere. Can Tulo hit 320 in New York City and drive in 115 runs and play in the All-Star game? Could Todd Helton have gone to Boston? You know that was a deal that was talked about.
Yeah.
Would he have gone to Boston and hit 335 and 35 home runs toward the end of his career and played in 3 World Series, won a couple of championships? I sometimes, I've told you, I don't pull for teams, but I like Troy Tulowitzki. I'd like to see him actually be in a good atmosphere. I told you last week that those 2 games where they went the other way at the end, I never saw a guy have such emotions. And I know after he hit the home run and he was gesturing and he was having fun, he was being a kid again, and then they give up the game-winning Grand Slam. He looked like he was crying in the dugout, looking out. And I know what was going through his mind. How long do I have to stay and put up with this?
You could see the gears turning, and that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. So, all right, you are the master, Dick Monfort, and you want to keep him, and you want to squeeze everything you can out of him. Go right ahead. Well, why not do something nice and why not get something of quality in return?
But there's also a fallacy about what they represent. Yeah, Tulo is a fan favorite, but they're not winning with Tulo. And not only that, if Tulo is so beloved, why are there so many empty seats at Coors Field? And the same thing with Faried. Faried, you're reluctant to trade this guy? He's not even that good a player.
No, that's why.
Yet a few people wear Manimal T-shirts, so you think, well, we're gonna piss off our fan base. No, you're not gonna piss off. You know how you solve that? You win. That's how you solve that. Kenneth Faried is not putting that many fannies in the seats, or they wouldn't have had 7,000 and 8,000 the second half of last year. Wins put fannies in the seats. Wins. So to trade a Tulo and get talent in return that will help you win more games, or to trade a Faried and get talent in return and win more games, that's what makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, well, somewhat you're comparing apples and oranges, and I know that's difficult for you to understand when I say to you apples and oranges. And so I'm going to explain to you, Kenneth Faried.
That was so condescending, but I get the inside joke. Go ahead.
On one side, you got a guy who's a nice NBA player. The other side, you got one of the 2 or 3 best shortstops in baseball. So how you can even put them in the same sentence? Nobody here cares whether Faried is traded or not. Oh, a few people wear T-shirts. A few people
you
like.
Didn't get what I was saying? Both organizations value those guys because they're both fan favorites.
The Nuggets don't value
that's my comparison.
They were trying to trade him last year. They couldn't get what they thought. They don't value him. That's not good. They paid him the $13 million. But I think what you're missing,
they don't value him, but they paid him $13 million.
But you can't compare Tulowitzki and Faried.
I just did, and I think it's a fair comparison.
Why don't they trade Rosario?
Because people aren't going to the game wearing Rosario caps
they're
and
not
shirts.
Going to.
They're going to Nuggets games wearing Manimal T-shirts and wearing fake dreads.
How many? 15.
It's not like Carmelo
30?
Anthony.
45?
But there are some people.
Okay, tell me. Give me
Woody,
a number.
These organizations are sensitive to people.
No, give me a number of how many fans.
112.
Okay, all right. Do you think that out of a crowd of 30,000, that's what the
Rockies. Okay.
The Nuggets were averaging 13,000. So out of the 13,000, 112 went to see Fareed. All right.
Why are you harping on this?
Let's make it
you understand what I'm saying.
They're not in the same category.
Woody, I'm telling you, I know this for a fact. There are people in the organization who don't want to trade Kenneth Fareed, or at least didn't the last couple of years, despite the fact the coaching staff wasn't wild about him, and he's not well liked in the locker room. They didn't want to trade him because they felt there was enough of a fan base that really liked Kenneth Fareed, and they didn't want to tick off the fan base.
Oh, I can't believe that for a moment.
I'm telling you, I know that.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't believe that.
Okay, fine.
I don't believe whoever told you that. No, I'm saying I don't. Whoever told you that, I believe that somebody told you that. I don't believe them. I don't believe them.
Well,
I think
they're misguided. You think they're misguided.
If I came to them and said, "We're going to trade Kenneth Fareed for Wiggins, the #1 rookie of the year," they would have done it in the moment.
Well,
they wouldn't care about the fans.
Who wouldn't?
Well, I'm saying. So Fareed,
because they're pretty confident Wiggins would become a new fan favorite.
Fareed is just a nice, average, hard-working ball player
who had a lot of faithful
one
followers.
Of the best players in the game. That is not even a topic of conversation. Now you've got me in an area that you say, well, they can get players in return. That is not even the point here. Trade Kenneth Fareed for your coffee mug. Because you know what Kenneth Fareed gives you? $13 million to spend on somebody who is a very good player. What does Tulowitzki bring? You get $20 million to go get a bunch of pitchers. That's what it's about. It's not that they're going to give you anything really in return. I think that's apples and oranges. We're dealing with, you and I are in two totally different places. They don't want to piss off the fan base. They don't care about the fan base. They care about trying to get fans to come for some reason. They had a Troy Tulowitzki doll on Sunday. Were you there? Sunday?
Yeah,
Saturday? Bobblehead. 30,000 people. They weren't too interested in going to get a bobblehead. That's the same crowd they're getting. They're getting 22,000 to 30,000. Did 40,000 people show up to see Tulowitzki and honor him?
You're saying what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
That the management values Tulowitzki as a fan favorite and thinks they'll tick off the fan base if they trade him. When the fact of the matter is, what brings people to the ballpark is winning more than anything, and they're not winning with Troy Tulowitzki.
What brings people to the arena and to the ballpark is the opposing team. That's what Denver is all about.
That's a good point.
That's why Denver is a lousy sports town and will continue to be a lousy sports town. And that's why those announcers that you want to protect so much are lousy, because they go, oh, there's 40,000 people here to watch the Rockies. Well, first of all, there's 12,000. Don't lie about it. I know you want to keep your jobs. But number two, they come to watch the Cardinals. That's what they're coming to see. When the Nuggets play at home, they're coming to watch the Cavaliers. They're coming to watch even the Timberwolves. They're not coming to watch the Nuggets. That's why people in Philadelphia go to watch their teams. Until somebody gets it, the owners, the commentators, even the fans. That's why the Rockies are always in the top 10 in attendance. It's because people want to see fireworks like they haven't ever seen them in their lives. And the July 4th, there's only one place to watch the fireworks. You can go to any place, go to any park in this town and see fireworks. Fireworks? Oh, man, get a life. Gosh, you're going to watch fireworks every year. Well, that's the only time they draw sellouts,
yeah.
Full houses. I'm on a roll here. Don't stop me.
I know. I like this one better than Woody's World.
The only time they draw full houses are for fireworks. They didn't even draw a full house for the first fireworks show. You know, they came around somewhere around Memorial Day. They don't even sell. I mean, the Dodgers, one of the 3 or 4 best teams in baseball, they got 23,000. Don't blame the weather. Go out there.
I did walk the park yesterday. I went to the game, and I would say
right.
3/4 of the people in the stands were wearing St. Louis Cardinals merchandise.
I rest my case. So all of that question about trying to protect the fan base. The fan base doesn't want the Cardinals to trade Matt Holliday because that in Denver, because the people here that go out to the games love the other team. I would hate being an owner that my fan base cares about two things. That I put a bar in. Oh, you find a bar anywhere? Oh, I put a bar in, and I have a fan base that loves me. Nobody likes Dick Monfort. Nobody likes him. I don't know if anybody likes him, even in his own family. And his big deal is, Dick, you are drawing people to the ballpark because you got a bar up there. It's a nice day. But they're coming to see the other team, and you're ordering your announcers to say, oh, look, we got 30,000 people supporting the Rockies. Half of them are supporting the other team. I watch on TV. When the guy on the other team hits a home run, the cheers is as big as they are so the Tulowitzki, Farid, nobody gives. They care that the Lakers have a good team because that's who they want to see. Really.
Kobe.
They want to see Kobe.
Yeah. That segment sponsored by Blake Street Tavern. 3 bars under one roof.
Can I take a break
breather.
sometime? Can I go
18,000 square feet. Lots of room to roam in
Don't get me
Blake Street
started.
Tavern. 60 HD TVs so you can watch the game that you want to watch, and they'll turn the sound up. It's Blake Street Tavern, named Denver's best sports bar 3 years in a row.
I'm the blood of the city.
By Westward. It's the Blake Street Tavern.